It might sound absurd at first, but what if there are humans among us who are alive and have lived among us since the dawn of humanity dating back to 10,000 BC? Technically, it is possible if some genetic modification occurs during pregnancy and birth, which would give a child endless life. Simply put, this child would never age or die. In today's video, we'll imagine in detail what would the experience of being alive for thousands of years would feel like. But of course, it's not just natural, slow-aging powers you would have, but also superhuman regenerative abilities like Deadpool. So in case you got hit in an attack or fell off a cliff, you would always recover and come back to life. I think this would be one of the most amazing dives into the human imagination. So let's begin. Birth. Your journey would start when you were born somewhere around 10,000 BC, when even the earliest civilizations hadn't even started. Humans lived as hunter-gatherers, and you would just be another member of a small human tribe somewhere in Europe. Obviously, back then, people didn't have any scientific methods or knowledge, so your strange abilities to heal wounds quickly and effectively would be considered a gift from God. You would just live a simple, happy life with one sad exception. All your relatives would pass away, and you would never grow older. It would seem you are stuck at age 25, and no matter what happened, you simply could not be killed or die. Jealousy and hatred grows. After a generation or two, some members of your small tribe would become jealous of you since all humans fear death, and here you are seemingly stuck in time while everyone else around you grows old and withers away. So it's possible people would fear you and might think you're sucking their life years to stay alive. This would eventually lead to you being imprisoned, but eventually you would escape wherever you're imprisoned. And this is when you would learn your first lesson in life: to keep your powers a secret, and keep switching tribes every 5 to 10 years so they won't notice you don't age. Traveling the world. With so much safety and time on your hands, you have nothing to worry about, and also you've done everything possible for thousands upon thousands of times already, whether it's hunting, mating, having children, or becoming the tribe leader, and you're just bored of it all after 2,000 years, so you would decide to see the world in its totality. You start traveling on your horse in one direction, hoping to reach the end of the world. Not having to worry about time, you would travel to the farthest reaches of the world, like traveling to North America thousands of years before Europeans. Reaching the first civilization. Time would pass by and you keep traveling the globe, passing from one tribe to another. At this point, you would be basically the most knowledgeable human on the planet, having extensive knowledge about lands, plants, and animals. But then eventually during your travels, you would end up in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 6,000 years ago, and you would be shocked to see such a huge tribe like you have never seen before. Little do you know you're looking at the first human civilization. The people you would be looking at in awe are the Sumerians, the first people to invent writing, trade, and earliest religions. So you would enjoy your time in the ancient Mesopotamia for a decade or so, just experiencing living in a city after centuries of being in the wild. But you cannot stay here for long either, so you would give them all your knowledge and then move forward with your life. Life after civilizations. As you continue to witness the rise and fall of civilizations, you marvel at the accomplishments of humanity. You observe the construction of the Egyptian pyramids and the grandeur of the Roman Empire. You become an avid learner, soaking in the knowledge and cultural achievements of each civilization you encounter. But remember, you would always find it difficult to connect with this human world, whose every action is motivated and driven by the fear of death. All the religions and pursuits of power, all the impossible monuments and positions of power, all driven by the fear of death and the desire to exist forever. And here you are, sick and tired of your life that just never ends with no way to escape it. Sometimes you would wonder how peaceful it would be to just die and not having to live this life, just having the longest blissful sleep you can possibly imagine. Even the rise and fall of entire civilizations would just appear repetitive and predictable to you now. No matter what you do, it seems like you have done it 1,000 times before in every possible way. After a few thousand years, would you normally be tired of traveling and constantly having to move, so you would have a castle built for yourself, and then you would just stay in that castle? No one would disturb you, and you would have your privacy. Nonetheless, you would witness the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Industrial Revolution. And finally, you've reached the modern era after about 10,000 years of satisfying yet tiring life on this Earth. The Earth whose every corner is familiar to you. But this modern era finally gives you some hope. Finally, there is enough technology to put you into cryogenic sleep and put you into coma, so what you would need to do is make a really close friend who's a doctor and tell her all your secrets, and hopefully she would agree to put you to sleep for 1,000-year sleep into an ice chamber. And now, after thousands of years of wishing for death, you can finally have it, but only for 1,000 years. Then you would be revived and recovered fully again. But what would happen for 1,000 years into the future is for another episode. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care until next time.